So can you influence your environment? Well, there's an interesting, how many of you have heard of Dr. Emoto, who talked about hidden messages in water? Yeah, a lot of you, good. Okay, so Dr. Emoto, for those of you who don't know, he did an interesting experiment, and he took plain old tap water. And what he did was he froze it, then he took it and he put it under a microscope, and he took a picture of the molecules of water. And when it was frozen, just plain tap water, the molecules look something like this. So there's really no shape to it. There's no, no crystalline structure to it or anything like that. Then he took other bottles of water, and what he did was he put different words on it. Like, so for instance, he did one that was love and thanks, and on this bottle of water with love and thanks, he took a photo again after it was frozen, and the crystalline structure showed up. So there was a form to it. So he saw that with intention. He also prayed over the bottles. With intention, you can change your environment. He did another one that's really interesting. I hate you, you make me sick. I was watching this reality TV show one time, and this chick kept saying, "Oh, that's so sick," and "That's so sick," and I'm going, "Oh my God, what are you doing to your body? Your body's made up 70% water, right?" So she's going, "Oh, that made me sick." I'm like, "Okay, interesting projection." Then he did an energy of joy. That's joy. Joy is one of the higher frequencies that we can go. You fool. So how many judgments do we do inside our own selves where we say, we call ourselves little names in our head, and we go, "What are you thinking? You're so stupid," right? So that's the energy that you're putting in your body. Gratitude. It's gorgeous. Gratitude is an interesting energy. What I notice when people do gratitude statements and they're deeply appreciative and grateful for something, literally a vortex of energy occurs around people. So this swirly, really cool space opens that allows for new stuff to come in. So gratitude's a really cool frequency to use. Dr. Bro, he did also an experiment proving that we can change, and influence the environment around us. He took red blood cells, and through intention, he proved that they could slow down the rate of blood cells dying. So, you can affect it. There's also another interesting experiment by the Maharishi. It's called the Maharishi effect. And in the Maharishi effect, he took 7,000 meditative yogi monks, and he threw them in different cities. And they measured what happened in those cities before and after through a variety of ways. In one city, the crime rate actually dropped 22%. In other cities, they monitored that the pollution dropped. In Tel Aviv, the stock market went up. So this is basically putting conscious beings in a place, pulling in source energy, radiating it out in a space to change the environment. Okay. Then when I was working on people, I noticed that some people would change really rapidly, and some people not so much. And so I came across a book called Power versus Force, and it had this beautiful little scale in it. And what I noticed in the scale is that he was basically putting in a little scale what I was seeing in my practice, why some people would change and some people wouldn't. So when I was looking at people and I was pulling out these patterns, some people obviously had more patterns than others. And if somebody had guilt and shame, they were usually the harder patterns to pull out. And here's why. They're actually the lowest frequency. So the energy of shame basically means I am not enough. So if you notice that when we're going through, if you kind of track all your beliefs, you think I can't make money, you go all the way down it, or I can't have love, and you go all the way down it, basically it hits this little funny place that says I am not enough. You think you're not powerful enough, right? So that's shame. Guilt is the energy of 30. He measured Hitler on the scale. Hitler's energy was 37. Okay, so he actually did feel a little guilty somewhere about what he was doing. Then there's the energy of apathy, which is where a lot of homeless people will live because they just sort of give up and they don't care so much. The energy of grief, where you're just totally sad and your whole energy field, like if you have grief over money, that would be like, you feel like a victim, that you really can't, how come I can't get any money? You're just sad about it. Fear, maybe if I make too much money, people will want to take it away from me. Like there's a little bit of a paranoia with those kind of beliefs or structures. Desire. Now this energy of desire is not the true desire to have like a goal or a better life. This energy desire is more about like the addictive quality of, I desire something from an egoic place of, if I don't have, like I need it to build me up because I don't actually feel like I am enough, right? So it's a different kind of desire. Anger. Now anger is an interesting one because at least it's a moving energy. Now if somebody gets mad in front of me, I'm kind of happy. You want to know why? Because at least I know they're pissed off enough to actually do something with the energy. Okay, so anger will move you. Pride. Pride is usually where a lot of fundamentalism live, because you're prideful because of these ingrained beliefs that you have, and they might not necessarily be your own. Courage is level 200, and courage is basically a door opener. He found in his research that basically, like if enlightened master is 1,000, right, and love is 500, one person at 500 can positively change the frequency of those at 200, lift 750,000 other people, okay? If one person at the vibration of 600 can affect 10 million people, one person at the vibration 700, enlightened, can positively impact 70 million people. So that's why I was excited about this, because basically it shows that you can change your environment. You being more you can actually really influence the world or change the world. And so you moved up courage to neutrality. And by the way, the reason I stopped on courage is because right now the planet's like only the average of all human beings on the planet is only a little bit over 200. Okay? So that's not very high. Now, obviously, some countries are higher than others, right? If they're practicing America and things like that are in between the 400 and 500s is the average. So we have willingness, where you're actually willing to do something. Acceptance, where you accept responsibility for a bigger part of your life. Reasoning, between 400 and 500 is where the scientists live. Einstein measured at 499 because he didn't necessarily believe quite in love. He was doing like mathematical reasoning kind of energy. The energy of love, which is why I call my product Lover Above, is again, the premise is basically you can change 750,000 other people by you vibrating the energy of love. And so healing energy happens at joy. You want to heal something in your life? Go play. Then there's peace, 600 and above, and enlightenment. So it's a logarithmic scale, and basically I'm just showing you that all of the beliefs and structures that you have in your being emanate or vibrate at one of these levels. And if you pay attention consciously to what's going on inside you, what are you thinking, you can actually change your world.